Hi and welcome to the Techie Admin channel. This week's video is going to be about how to combine two cells together, then how to split them up, and how to do some formatting on uppercase and lowercase so that you can apply it for an entire column of data. The first thing I want to show you is how to combine the first name with the last name with the domain so that you ultimately get the email address of each person. So let's just type in a mock domain here. Say, let's call it mydomain.com. Once you hit enter, you'll notice that you get an error because it's saying that this function is not working. It's looking at the ad and is confusing it and saying this is not a valid function. So if you want to type in something like that, you first have to format the cells so that you can type in text. So just in this case, I'm going to do that for the entire column here. So I'm right clicking on it and I'm going under format cells. And in there, under the number tab, select the one that says text, hit OK, and now it should allow me to do that. There we go, no complaints this time. I'm going to drag it all the way down and double click here so that it fits in the cell. All right, so now let's see how we can combine all three of these elements together to create the email address. So type in equals, select the person's first name, then type the and symbol, and then in most email addresses you will have something like first name dot last name or underscore last name. So in this case, let's say that this is a first name dot last name. So in this case, what you'll need is you need to actually integrate the dot as well. So put the quotation marks here, put the dot in between and another set of quotation marks, then another and symbol, select the last name, another and select the domain, and then just hit enter, and that will create the email address for each person. So just drag that down and you have it all figured out. And now with all these formulas, of course, if you just want to change something, so maybe instead of a dot you want to use the underscore, so you can always click in the formula here. So basically click on the cell up above, you'll see the formula, and if this is the dot, just backspace that, put an underscore instead, hit enter, and you can then once again just drag the whole thing down and it will adjust it. Now, a lot of companies have a specific way that they want to capitalize their people's names in the email. Not that it actually matters. If you send an email to capitalized Emma or lowercase Emma, it will still end up in the same place. But it's just an aesthetics thing. So I want to show you how you can create all of these names in lowercase and then in uppercase as well. So let's use the F column here as just a place you're going to play around with the data. You can later get rid of it. So in this case, I'm going to type in equals, the word lower, open up a bracket, select the person's name, close the bracket, and hit enter. And you'll notice that it just decapitalized the name. So just drag it all the way down and you have it applied to everybody. And in this case, because the next cells are next to it, you should just be able to drag it to the right, and then you get the last names as well. And let's say that we want to actually then have the email addresses with the lowercase names. So all you have to do is go select all of your data here, press Ctrl+C for copy and Ctrl+V for paste, and you will notice it sort of broke everything, but just for a moment. It's only because it's trying to reference these cells to create the information that was here. But if you click on the control button here and you're actually just going to paste the values rather than the sort of calculation that it has done, then it will just give you the actual names again. So you can get rid of this now. You're not going to need it anymore. And that's still not an issue. It just has the values copied over. And of course, because this is taking the data from these two columns rather than just sort of being static, then it has already updated their names to the lowercase option. And very similarly, if you ever need to capitalize all the names or all the data here, all you have to do is just press equals, then write the word upper, open a bracket, select the person's name, close the bracket, hit enter, and it will do that for all of the names here. And similarly again, if you say equals and say the word proper, then that will actually capitalize just the first letter of everybody's name. Sort of, that's the proper way to do it, I guess. So select this, close the bracket, hit enter, and off you go. So the next thing I want to show you is how to sort of backwards engineer this. So now we have nicely combined these three columns together, but what happens when you have data, say in this format, and you want to get back to the first name separate and the last name separate and the domain separate? So in this case, we have to do a bit of an extra step because while this looks like it's just first name underscore last name, it's actually a formula in that cell. So let's get rid of the formula so we just have the data to work with. So I'm going to copy this over here and under the control button, go and paste it as values. So now that this is just values and how you can see that is if you click on it, you'll see that up above here, all it says is sort of the text of what's in your data. So I'm just going to copy this back and paste it over here. So now instead of the formulas, we have just the plain values, and I'm going to get rid of this because we won't be needing this anymore. So now that we have that ready to go, I'm going to select all of my data and go under the data tab over here. And here I'm going to click on text to columns. So what that will do is it will look for sort of a pattern. It will look for, okay, so what is the separating item between the different types of data you have in here? So in this case, you'll see that it's the first name, and then we have the separating item would be the underscore, which is what is in common between all of these email addresses. So what we'll want to do is hit next, and here is what you put as your, they're called delimiters. So basically you want to see, okay, so what's the thing that's separating the first two sets of data? So in this case, it is the underscore. So you want to select the other button, and then here just type in the underscore and hit next, and you'll see that it gives you a bit of a preview of what it's going to do. So it's going to create one column over here with all of these people's names, and then the second one will be the last name at the domain. So we're going to have to do this in 2 steps. So I'm going to hit finish, and now you can see that it has separated out the first names. So same thing to get the last names out of there. So just select all of your data, go back to text to columns, hit next, and here instead of the underscore, we want to use the @ symbol. Hit next and finish, and here you can see that it has split everything out nicely, and you have what you sort of started with over here. So that's all for today. I hope you learned something new. Drop a comment below letting me know what that was. And if you have a specific request on a video, say maybe a specific Excel topic, just let me know. Either reach out to me directly or drop a comment below. I would love to make videos that are specifically tailored to one of your needs. So just let me know, and I will see you here back next week. Bye.